This video is going to completely change the way you look at getting to your first $3,000 to $5,000 months in your online coaching, online education business. I'm going to cover everything in this video. I'll give you this brief rundown because I hate these videos when they say this is what I'm going to do and then there's nothing to it. This is everything that's going into this video, even in terms of how we're actually going to get clients from social media, from long form, from short form, from email, and actually get them into your coaching business and what we want to do with those clients once we get to that point. Now, I don't know how long you've been trying to get to your first sort of $3,000 to $5,000 a month, but it's definitely within reach, and I've put that on my little Greg Hamill post-it note on the side. I want you to set this as your goal for the next 10 to 12 months. And I would imagine you will probably surpass it. If we can start to implement most of this stuff, you will probably surpass that within the next few months. Now, first off, quick maths. If we have 20 clients at $150 per month, that brings us to $3,000 per month. Now, for a lot of people, that's enough to replace our initial jobs, our initial careers, and sort of take this full time. That was certainly what I did back in the day. And out of everyone in the world, there's 20 people who will work with you. Even if you don't believe it, I believe in you just now. There's 20 people out there, especially online, who will work with you and pay you $150 per month. Now, for us to get to $5,000 per month, all we need is 29 clients at $175. And those numbers might sound scary to some of you if you are below $3,000 to $5,000 a month. I remember when I put my prices up to $177, I think it was. I was petrified the first few calls. Doing those calls, I was like, it's $177 or £177 because I was in the UK at the time. And everyone said yes, as they do now, even though my prices are higher than that. So it's more than doable, and I'm going to basically break down exactly what you need to do. So realistically, even if you sit there just now and you think, right, out of every single person on the internet, do I reasonably think I could attract 29 clients over the next 12 months who are going to pay me $175? Yes, more than likely. So the first thing we're going to go over is your niche. Niche is extremely important, right? Usually, we want to help people solve a problem that we used to struggle with or something that we are passionate about, okay? And one of the easiest ways to go over this is if you don't have any clients, you don't have any social proof, you don't have anything that you can really talk about your own stuff. Like if I was a mental health coach, I would talk about mental health, I would give out free advice around it. If I was an investment financial type coach, I would talk about my investment portfolio, I would talk about my investment strategies, I would talk about new applications that have opened up, I would talk about current themes, current topics. If, for example, an investment platform increased its fees without telling people, or there was a tiny piece of microprint on one of the newsletters that you get from a lot of these investment places saying that they put their fees up, I would talk about all these things. Just talk about it, and eventually you will become an authority within that industry. Now, the first thing that I have, and this is something that I get all of my mentoring clients to do. When we're working out who we want to work with, we do this task. And we put this on like an ideal client niche style document. I want you to go ahead and make a blank document, fully blank document, and write down the following headings, and then write as much as you possibly can do under each one of these headings. Who do I want to help? This is roughly where your I help statement comes in. And you might not know exactly just now, and that's okay. You will get more specific on that as you make more content and you attract more people. What do they struggle with or fear? What are their goals and aspirations? Why do they need help from me? And your USP is your unique selling point. What makes me special and qualified? So my example, I help online coaches grow their business to 6 figures without running paid ads, using sleazy sales tactics, or sending hundreds of cold DMs per day. My unique selling point, I would go over all these, right? But you'll know yourselves, pain points, goals, aspirations, etc. Probably one of those is getting to your first $3,000 to $5,000 a month. My unique selling point, is that I run a multiple, outside of helping online coaches grow, I actually run my own separate company. We do multiple six figures. It's a multiple six figure business with a team of 6 coaches. And my goal, my plan, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know about this, is to take that company to over 7 figures per year over the next few years. So again, like yourselves, the proof is in the pudding with these things. And again, once you get more and more traction and you get more and more people coming in, it's easy to then showcase that you know what you're talking about, not just from what you're doing, but from what your clients are doing and how their lives are improving, how their businesses are improving, how their financial status is improving, how their mental health is improving. So, starting points. Now, if you're sitting there and you have 0 clients, you're like, well, Greg, this makes sense, but I literally have 0 clients. Remember, everyone started with 0 clients. Every single person that you see online started with 0 clients. The goal is to get some clients. So what I would do in this scenario, reach out to 3 to 5 people that you know and take them on for free. The main goal here is to turn them into a case study, show their journey, show them working with you, and try to get some testimonials. Okay, so a testimonial can be written, it can be video format, it can be anything, right? We basically want to take a client to case study to then tell people, look, here's this person that I helped. If this resonates with yourself, I could probably help you too. And then you can invite those people to come and work with you and pay you money to do that. If you've got a few paying clients and some free, which is usually what most people then transition to, you've maybe got a couple of free clients and then you maybe get a couple of sort of low paying clients, $100 a month, something like that. Grab some testimonials from anyone that you are working with. These can be video, audio, or written. So if you have any clients that you're currently working with, I would just send them a very, very brief text message. Just say, hey mate, this is going to help me out massively. If you could you just answer each one of these sort of bullet points and tell me your sort of positive experience about working with myself. And that could be what they were struggling with before they started working with yourself, their biggest achievement, and what they would say to anyone who's on the fence about coming on to work with you in your business. It's that easy. So I would say, let's say I went to a personal trainer and they said to me, Greg, can you send me a testimonial? I'd say, yeah. Before working with this personal trainer, I was 45 pounds overweight, hated the way that I looked. I hadn't been on a date in over a year. I was probably borderline depressed and I just wasn't happy. Since then, I've lost 45 pounds. I got into the shape of my life. I'm back out dating again. I'm back out socialising again. I just went on holiday last week and I've never felt so confident on holiday as I did on that most recent holiday. If there's anyone on the fence, like I didn't think I could do this when I first started, and I've done it with the help of insert coach's name. So if you're on the fence, I genuinely couldn't recommend this enough. Super easy. If there's one thing better than you telling people how good your service is other people who went through your service saying, this is awesome. So, follower, lead, client, case study. This is like your client journey, right? So, again, for you guys, this might be the first time for you to have seen any of my content on social media. Again, you might subscribe to the channel if you want to. You can hit the subscribe button down below. So you would then essentially become a follower. You would then potentially become a lead because you're interested in my service. You think, I wonder how this guy actually helps people grow their online coaching businesses. You would then maybe become a client. And then a year from now, we go, look, here's this person. They were doing $2,000 a month. Now they're doing $15,000 a month. That would be one of these. So these are my clients that I've worked with. So again, these are just the 3 pinned posts from my Instagram. There's obviously more than that. So this is Graham, who went from 0 to £9,000 a month. Alex, who went from 1.2 to 5.4. Stuart, who went from 13 to 24. Again, this was actually a testimonial. So this one's like not a swipe file, a carousel. So if you go onto my Instagram, you can look at that one. And this was a video testimonial that we've then turned into a carousel style testimonial. And this is basically what you want to get from the people that you're working with, no matter what sort of industry it is that you're in and coaching. Now, in terms of content, it's very easy to jump between platform, and think we're doing a little bit of everything, the best piece of advice that I could give you on that is pick one short form platform and just master that platform. Let me pull up this thing because this is annoying me. And then we want to master that platform. I would recommend Instagram, ease of use and the amount of stuff that you can post on there. Again, the amount of users that are on there as well. I just really enjoy using Instagram. I do reshare stuff from Instagram to Facebook. And sometimes, if I can be bothered, I will share stuff to TikTok as well, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. Now, long form, I genuinely can't stress how important long form is for you to use in terms of your content. And again, I would recommend YouTube for that. Even for you to actually give more value to people, hopefully a lot of you guys watching this video will take a huge amount of value from it and go, right, cool, that's awesome. I can now implement some of the stuff from this guy Greg's video. You maybe subscribe to the channel, you go through some of the other videos and you think, right, this is really, really good stuff. Do you know how long it would take for me to have that impression on yourself from short form reels on Instagram? It would never happen. So definitely try and get into this in terms of your long form stuff as well. And it doesn't even have to be a video like this. I've got cameras here. Sometimes you can just do walk and talk videos. You can do talking head videos. It just doesn't matter. Just get your first few videos out. Pick a style of video. Maybe do three different batches of different styles of videos. See which ones you enjoyed doing the best, because those will be the ones that you stick to. Maybe the ones that perform the best as well. But I would go for enjoyment, because remember, we're trying to build the business that you want to build. So even if you can make a super viral video, but you think, oh my God, I actually hated doing that, it kind of defeats the purpose. So short form, I would go for reels, talking head, carousel, static image. Again, if you're trying to grow your business, I would post at least twice a day. At least twice a day, 2 to 3 times a day would be better. Keep content specific to you, your story, your journey, and your niche, right? Like your ideal client. Now, in terms of long form, make these educational, like this video, or documentary style content. So I could do a video that would be, here's a day in my life as a multiple 6-figure business owner trying to scale my business to 7 figures by 2028. And I would just document my day. Hey guys, hey YouTube, here's what I'm having for breakfast. Here's what I'm doing today. I've got calls booked all day. I've been making up slideshows. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. Here's some of the issues that we ran into. And talking of Alex and Mosey, I think they've actually started doing this recently. I've not watched them, but someone was talking about this, that they've actually started doing like a kind of reality show almost. Not a reality show, but like a behind the scenes show on YouTube. So the whole purpose of this stuff is for people to get to know you. And I'll go over this at the end as well, in terms of building that know, like, and trust with clients. Now, daily non-negotiables on Instagram. One thing to remember is that no one knows who you are. And also, I was speaking about this the other day on Instagram, no one who's doing better than you or who isn't slightly intimidated by you is ever going to talk badly about you on social media. Like, literally no one. There is more than enough clients for everyone to be working with. So no one's ever going to talk badly about you. No one's ever going to judge you for like doing these things that actually matters. Usually you will still get judged on social media. You will still have people give their opinions because everyone loves to. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. But anyone who's doing better than you that sees you doing this stuff will just think, that's cool. That's someone who's kind of on this journey, someone who's been proactive with it. And even Alex Hormozy said it. You can do paid ads or you can do outreach. Now, I'm against doing cold DMs. I wouldn't do it. I actually just don't think I could be bothered. Like, I love my life. I love my business. If I had to choose between doing paid ads and cold DMs, I would probably do paid ads because I literally just would hate to do cold DMs all day. Especially because no one's going to reply to them. So, we have a better way to do this, okay? Now, I do go over this in more detail, and I will go over this in more detail because I'm building out a school community at the moment. And again, the first main course in there is completely free. You will also have options to book in with myself just for like basic consultations as well, if you want business audits and stuff like that as well. But one of the main things that we talk about in there is a thing that I call the fish pond method. It was actually obviously coined the term from someone else had coined the term, and I just liked it. I was watching one of these TED Talks, I think it was, and I thought, that makes so much sense when they say it's the fish pond method. So again, we go over that in more detail, but this is vaguely what it is just now. I'll not bore the tits off you with that. Now, this is even more relevant when you're less well known, because your organic content won't initially gain traction. Like, organic content on social media is completely different. I remember when Instagram first came out and I could post a photo and you would get 80 likes on it just from random people. People would follow you, people wanted to interact with you, it was all new, it was all exciting, and now everyone's just scrolling stuff. So again, that's why long form stuff is worthwhile using. And you need to build this base audience first, okay? I mean, even once you can get to 300 followers, 500 followers, 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers, of people who are relatively well engaged, and I don't mean engaged in terms of them going out their way to like your like your posts and commenting and stuff, but story views and followers and how many people are actually watching your stuff. You need to build that base audience first, and then you can take your foot off the gas a little bit with the outreach side of things, okay? And from myself, the way that I mean in terms of outreach is follows, okay? So you need to be sociable on social media. You need to go out of your way to think about people who would benefit from your content and benefit from your service. And this is where the fish pond method comes into play, okay? And in fact, you know what, let's just cover it because you've spent 60 minutes watching this. So I want you to think about going back to the start when we filled out the ideal client document, and think about, where would these kind of people hang out on social media? What kind of pages would they follow? What kind of sports are they into? Do they follow local sport teams? What kind of TV shows do they watch? What kind of things would they be interested in? What pages can I then go to and see some of these other people? It's just a really easy way for you to narrow it all down. So, for example, let's say you were a fitness coach for people who played tennis, right? Let's say you were an ex-tennis player and now you were like a fitness coach for people who played tennis, right? If you were just starting that business, it would be very, very easy for yourself to go to tennis clubs, not even in your area, just around the area. You could go to tennis clothing brand companies on Instagram. You could go to like tennis meme pages, and you could just follow some people from these pages, see what kind of people follow you back. And then the main thing off the back of this is conversations. There's nothing sleazy about doing any of this. Like, everyone has done this. People pretend that they've not done it. Oh yeah, we never had to do that. Yeah, okay, mate. But everyone does it. Everyone goes through this. So it's just a case of being sociable, following people, reaching out, having conversations with people who then follow you back. I certainly wouldn't be sending out messages to like random strangers, but if people have engaged with your content and they follow you back, they're already interested in what you're doing. They're then no longer a cold lead. They are just a lead, a potential prospect. So have at least 10 to 20 conversations per day on social media with your followers. This isn't cold DMs, as they already follow you and they're interested in what you do. Don't be weird and just chat to them. This is one thing that comes up quite a lot when I have very new coaches. It's like, somebody messaged me, what did I talk to them about? It's like, just whatever you would talk to them about in real life. Oh, hello mate. Hello, how you doing? What are you getting on? What's the plans for this week? Oh, we get stuff on at the weekend. There's topics that come up. You can talk about that. You can see what things you guys have got in common. And we can all just have a good time talking to people on social media. So these things all go hand in hand. Now, I'm going to make a different video on lead magnets, specifically to build up an email list, okay? But we should be doing that. So again, given the fact that you watched 20 minutes of this video, I would say ActiveCampaign or MailChimp are, again, two of the most common email providers. I think MailChimp now apparently is a lot more kind of user friendly. So I would definitely have a look at getting an account set up on MailChimp, and you can even just send this out as a weekly newsletter. So you can then start to talk about your email list and talk about giving the goods or giving additional resources out via email. So you can do this on Instagram, you can do it on YouTube. They can then send you their email and you can then add them to your email list. all these things go hand in hand, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. So, and let's even take yourself, for example, right? You're watching this video, you might have came from my Instagram, you might have just found this video on YouTube, or you might have been on my email list already and I've emailed you with the link for this video and you're now watching it. The whole purpose of these things is literally for you. So let's say you're here, right? You're on YouTube just now and you're watching me. You know that there's probably an offer from myself somewhere. I'm not offering services out to you guys today. But again, we know that the offer is there, so you can go YouTube. You then maybe go through and go, I quite like this guy's stuff. I'll go on and find him on Instagram. Next week, I might then put out another YouTube video. You go back onto YouTube. There might then be like a lead magnet or something that you click on that video. You go onto my email. I then email you the following week, say, hey mate, I've got a new video out, it's really, really good. I'm going over X, Y, and Z. You think, oh, I'd love to watch that video. You then go back onto YouTube. This is like your journey through these different media platforms. And eventually, people will then probably know you, like you, and trust you enough to then go, hey mate, how does this work? How do I sort of work more with yourself? I love all the stuff that you put out. I know you know what you're talking about. Can you help me? What things do you sort of offer? You can then invite them to your offer. And it really, really is that simple. It really is that simple. Also, if you guys have questions about this, like just write them below and I'll try and get back to each one of them as well. Now, this is important as well because of this. So this is the 7-11-4 rule from Google. I mean, you might have heard of this before, but the 7-11-4 rule from Google states that in order for a customer to make a purchase, they need to be engaged with your brand for 7 hours with have 11 different touch points and interact with you across 4 different locations or platforms. So before anyone buys from you, they need to watch 7 hours worth of your content, 11 different touch points, 4 different locations. That's going to be super, super difficult to do, as I've put in here, if you're just using short form stuff. So most coaches struggle massively with this because they only focus on short form content. It's going to take a hell of a long time, like a hell of a long time to build up those 7 hours with 30-second reels. And they also only know you from that point. Like, you want your face to become as familiar as possible. You want these people to be looking up your videos on their lunch break at work and going, oh, I wonder if Greg's posted today. I'm going to go and watch one of his videos because they're always really, really good. I always get a lot from them. So that's why I would recommend having this. Okay, and it's all these different touch points. If they wake up to an email from yourself and it's a really, really valuable email, or it's a storytelling email, they get to know you a bit better with that. They build that know, they build that like, and they build that trust. You're then sending them through to a YouTube video. It's a way to basically what they call warm your leads up, right? So this is basically like a big oven. So think about this as just a big oven, and then people come out the other side. Once you've given them enough stuff and they go, I want to work with you, mate. How do I go about doing it? And it also means that you get very qualified leads coming in. We don't want tire kickers, right? We don't want those people who just, oh, hey, can you give me a bit more information? Information about what, mate? Like, I don't know what information you would specifically need from this thing. So find out what information you need and then you can ask me that specifically. I had one of those messages today. Hey, can I get some info, please? On what? What do you want information on? So again, this is just a way for you to warm people up so that they know exactly what your offer is. So if we can have all these things working together, so the email goes out when you get a new YouTube video. They then see 2 Instagram posts from yourself over the course of the day, and then this repeats and repeats and repeats. It speeds things up massively. And again, most people aren't doing this. One of the guys that I work with, I was talking to him, in fact it was Stuart here. So Stuart has a really, really big following. Obviously he's doing really, really good numbers just now. Was that like $30,000 a month, which is crazy. So really, really good numbers. And I was saying that to him the other week. I think he needs to get onto long form stuff. And even now, if you look at the stats in terms of YouTube, more people spend more time on YouTube than they do on Netflix. So just think about that. More people spend more time on YouTube than they do on Netflix. So if someone said to you, hey mate, we're going to give you the opportunity to just talk about your business on Netflix, you'd snap the hand off them. Be like, mate, 100%. I'll just sit and talk on. You want me just to make videos about what I do, and I'll post them on Netflix. And they were like, yeah. Like, no one would not do that. But again, a lot of people don't do YouTube, even though it is used more regularly than Netflix. So definitely worth doing this, okay? People need to know you, like you, and trust you before they can buy from you, and this is the best way to do it. So even take a wee screenshot of this, and I'll let you screenshot this as well at the start in terms of your sort of ideal client stuff. So take a wee picture of this stuff. Again, if you want to stick it up on your social media, tag me in it if you want to. Let me know when you're filling it out. If you've got any questions off the back of it, let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I will hopefully catch you in the next one.